What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me here again for another episode of Chernobyl. Really loved the first two episodes. I thought they were fantastic. Can't wait to see the next three, especially the one for today. And I appreciate everyone who's been commenting on the first two videos. That's been great to read your comments. It's definitely going to help me and my experience going forward to enjoy it more and to understand a little bit more of the background and the real life effects. So thank you so much for that. Really loved engaging with you all on those videos, and I'm looking forward to engaging with you all on this video as well. So if you'd like to see the full-length reaction of this, as well as be involved in polls that help decide what I watch or react to next, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you'll be able to do that and get involved there. And for those of you who are just subscribed on here and watching, thank you so much. Your support's so appreciated. Grateful that everyone's enjoying the videos so far. Really enjoying making them. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Glad to have you here. I do movie and TV show reactions several times a week, and if that's something that you're interested in, definitely consider subscribing, turning on that notification bell so you can know when I upload my next videos. And by the end of this one, if you enjoyed watching, definitely consider leaving a like. That definitely helps the channel out a lot, so I appreciate all of you who do that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into episode 3 of Chernobyl. Oh yes, right where we left off. Can't even imagine how terrifying that would be. Just the clicking sound of their devices is scary enough. And the sound design of this just basically makes it a horror series. Just adds so much intensity to every scene. They all three made it out. These guys are true legends. Holy crap. Made the ultimate freaking sacrifice. Oh, now we've jumped ahead a couple days.
You can see him for 30 minutes. Not a minute more. And you cannot touch him in any way. Do you understand?
Hopefully she didn't just transfer anything over to her by touching her hand.
Oh, wait, I haven't finished yet. No, he has it.
And his face.
Yep, that's good.
That'd be such a horrifying experience.
There's no hiding from you, is there? Huh?
No, she's touching him. What is she doing? They literally just said not to touch him. Oh, that's sad, man. She doesn't realize what's about to happen, I assume. Or she just doesn't care what's gonna happen, just wants to be with her husband. His costumes still look freaking creepy.
An uninformed, arbitrary decision that will cost who knows how many lives made by some apparatchik, some career party man.
Ooh, he's saying some
I'm a career party man.
saying some deep stuff right now. Just
Watch your tone, Comrade Legazo.
just speaking the truth. Oh, that's so hard to listen to.
You can't be in here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, those screams are so realistic. I can't even fathom the kind of pain that you would go through under that kind of situation. On both sides, having to be the person that has the radiation poisoning and also to be watching your loved ones suffer from that. Both situations are just terrible.
Republic tanks are being drained. We have successfully eliminated the risk of a thermal explosion.
That's excellent news.
Gazov estimates a 50% chance that the fuel will breach the pad and melt down into the groundwater itself. The primary water supply for approximately 50 million people.
Holy crap, it would just ruin everything.
And in order to do that, I'm told that we will need all of the liquid nitrogen in the Soviet Union.
I'd like to address the 30-kilometer exclusion zone.
Wait, Professor Legasov, is that you? What exclusion zone?
Minor details, General Secretary.
Look, Professor Legasov, you are there for one reason only. Do you understand? To make this stop.
I don't want questions.
Gosh, that's so frustrating. Just listen to the guy. He's the smartest person there.
Ionizing radiation tears the cellular structure apart. The skin blisters, turns red, then black. The bone marrow dies. The organs and soft tissue begin to decompose. The arteries and veins spill open like sieves.
That literally sounds like the worst possible thing that could happen.
We've gotten a steady dose, but not as much of it. So, in time, cancer or aplastic anemia, either way, fatal.
Gosh, dang it.
I've seen them before.
Now you know why I wanted to take a walk. You can presume the work site is bugged.
Whoa, shoot. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to, like, silence them, make sure they don't spread any information?
Why did it explode? I've worked the numbers over and over, presuming the worst possible conditions in an RBMK reactor. It's not possible.
Everyone who was in the control room, Dyatlov, Akimov, Totanov, they're all in Moscow. Hospital number 6. Go now, while they're still alive. Talk to them. Because if we don't find out how this happened, it will happen again.
That's a scary thought. I hope she's successful in finding out what happened, because I want to know what happened. And I guess in the first two, and some of you mentioned this in comments and stuff on the video, that I just assumed that these people were being dumb about things, but if it really was perceived impossible for anything to go wrong, then that makes it a little bit more understandable why people were more doubting.
I need all 100 men to gather their equipment and get on the trucks.
Do you? To where?
That's classified.
Are they going to bring him to Chernobyl?
This is our mine. We don't leave unless we know why.
You're going to Chernobyl. The reactor fuel is going to sink into the ground and poison the water from Kiev to the Black Sea. They want you to stop that from happening.
Gosh, man, that's an impossible task to ask of someone. Freak, man, that's gotta be the worst feeling, just watching all these guys you know are about to die. That's kind of a cool shot. I don't know if it was intentional, if this was what they were going for, but it kind of symbolizes that he's getting all this dirt on him, figuratively, because he's basically sending all these people to their death.
If they touch you, it's safe for them, it's safe for me.
Why? Oh my gosh, he looks so bad right now. Just his appearance looks painful. I can't imagine what it actually feels like.
Have you ever spent time with miners? No. My advice, tell the truth. These men work in the dark. They see everything.
Yeah, we learned that from the last interaction, that you definitely want to tell the truth with them.
We need to install a liquid nitrogen heat exchanger underneath this concrete pad. Excavate a space 30 by 30 meters for the heat exchanger. Because we need to keep disruption of the ground above to a minimum, you can't use any heavy machinery. It has to be done by hand.
I'm just feeling claustrophobic just listening to this description.
At that depth, you'll be shielded from much of the radiation.
The entrance to the tunnel won't be 12 meters below ground. And we're not 12 meters below ground now.
He's realizing they're already exposed.
If these worked, you'd be wearing them.
This guy's a smart man. That's got to be so crazy to realize after you've already gotten to somewhere that you're basically dead. Or you will be dead after a little while. What beautiful cinematography and lighting there, though. My goodness.
We need fans.
For what purpose?
It's 50 degrees in there. We can't breathe without masks. We can't breathe with the masks.
Fans will put dust in the air. The dust will go in your lungs.
I've been breathing dust in my lungs for 20 years.
Not this dust.
Gosh. I've been in 49 degrees Celsius one time, and that was unbelievably hot, and I was basically just sitting by an air conditioner.
I want you to tell me everything that happened on the night of the accident. Is that all right?
Oh, this poor man.
Senior engineer. How old are you?
I'm 25.
That's so young, especially with something so powerful. That's just horrifying to look at. I can't fathom just going through that.
It isn't safe for you.
He's
here.
my husband.
Not anymore. He's something else now, do you understand?
Whoa.
He's dangerous to you.
That's a heavy line.
Stay on the other side of the plastic. Or I'll have you removed by security.
Man, if that... Why is she doing this? Oh my gosh, dude. He doesn't even look human.
We're gonna have a baby.
She is pregnant and that baby is gonna have so many issues. Is that really what people look like after radiation poisoning? I've never sought out pictures of them. I know they get blisters and stuff, but I've never seen someone in that condition. That's gotta be one of the worst things that could ever happen to a human being.
When this is over, will they be looked after?
I don't know.
That's terrible. How could you not take care of these people after what they're doing? They're potentially saving millions of people.
Why didn't you initiate an emergency shutdown? Why didn't you press the AZ5 button?
We did.
Leonid, that's not possible.
And that's when it exploded.
Oh, the button's what caused it. Shoot. That's quite the development.
Get out of here.
Let me go. Let me go. Stop it.
You let her in that room, inside the plastic, touching him. Did you know she's pregnant? People are going to hear about this.
Wait.
People are going to hear. Do you understand? Everyone is going to hear.
What is everyone gonna hear?
F, dude. What a horrible regime they're running, man. They better not kill her or do anything with her. Of all the places that a reactor could have had this catastrophe, this had to have been the worst possible situation.
All animals still surviving within the zone, whether domesticated or wild, must be presumed contaminated and will have to be destroyed. My associate was arrested last night.
Oh?
I was wondering if you could tell me why.
I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. Yes, people are following you. People are following those people.
I need her.
So you will be accountable for her? Then it's done.
Her name?
I know who she is.
Wow, did not think he was gonna release her.
Oh. That went surprisingly well. Came off like a naive idiot.
I actually like Boris quite a bit now.
I don't think you have a choice any more than I do. I think despite the stupidity, the lies, even this.
See, I'm not the only one who thinks there's a lot of stupidity. Those sounds, those deep bassy sounds in the soundtrack are just so perfect. This kind of goes back to what I was saying in my Schindler's List reaction, where this is getting to the point where it's too difficult to compliment it because it's so horrifying to watch and it's based on real stuff. Hey, he was in Dunkirk, wasn't he? That's the first time all series that I've actually recognized someone from another piece of media. Wow, that was hard to watch, but that was very beautifully done. I don't think they could have handled that scene and that sequence better than they did. Okay, so we've made it through a pretty brutal episode there. I was not prepared to see people in that state. That was quite horrifying and hard to watch. I'd only seen some pictures and things like that, never even really on video, people with radiation exposure and poisoning, and I've seen kind of the red blistering, kind of some of the stuff we saw in the first two episodes, and so that was kind of my expectation for what somebody has to go through when they experience that. And when I saw her visiting the engineers and stuff, as well as the wife visiting her firefighter husband, and just seeing the state that they were in is just so horrific. I can't even fathom the level of pain that those men went through and that anyone with that type of radiation exposure goes through. I don't know if you experience the pain the whole time or if you just eventually become numb to it because it's constant. That's just gotta be one of the worst possible things that a human being could have happen to them. And they did a great job of depicting that and making the audience, and me specifically, feel so terrible for those people and understand what they went through and the pain on both sides, whether it's the people who had the radiation exposure or the people visiting them or their loved ones. So I thought it all was handled flawlessly, and especially the ending scene was just haunting because you can't even really mourn them properly because they have to be buried so deep in the ground, and there's not going to be much of a grave site or anything like that just because of the danger of further radiation. And I'm scared to see what happens to the firefighter's wife because she exposed herself so frequently and so much to her husband, and being pregnant, there's just, I'm assuming, going to be so many issues with that. I also appreciated in this episode that we got a little bit more of a look at the KGB presence and just the dangers of the situation that go beyond the reactor explosion and the radiation, because obviously in the first two episodes I'm just frustrated with character decisions and ignoring things, but this finally gives a little bit more context to why people were afraid to acknowledge mistakes. Before, it seems exclusively like they just want to save their own skin and preserve their image, but here it shows that there's actual danger and repercussions, and maybe your life is even threatened by screwing up and making the KGB or the Soviet Union look bad. And so I really liked the way that they did that, made it seem ominous and a very overarching, omniscient presence over them. Hopefully they don't run into any more issues or too many major issues with the KGB. Obviously they got the nuclear physicist out, and so that was great that she wasn't kept too long and that she'll be able to go back and do her work. And with the little tease at the end with the kid from Dunkirk, I'm not sure what that was depicting. I'm sure we'll see later what that was, and so I'm excited to see that, because as I mentioned while I was watching it, he's the first actor that I've actually recognized specifically from another movie or show. And I felt like there were some definitely good instances of soundtrack and music in this episode, but I definitely feel like it was a little more reserved, and I think that was partly just because of the imagery and what we were seeing. They probably didn't want to tarnish seeing these people in this state and make it kind of fantastical or put the focus on the music. I assume they wanted the focus to be on the people, which they were successful in doing that. And so with this episode going forward a couple days, whereas the first two episodes kind of were just jumping around hour by hour, it'll be interesting to see how far ahead we jump in these next two episodes, because I assumed after the first two that we were just going to continue to go slowly, but now we've jumped about a week and a half. I think we're past the reactor explosion now, so it'll be interesting to see where we go from here, how far ahead we go. And it's hard to believe they're gonna fix everything. Well, I don't know if they fix everything, I assume, because obviously I haven't heard anything since in real life about the reactor, so I assume they solved the problems, but it'll be interesting to see how they're able to accomplish that in just 2 more episodes. But I'm absolutely loving this series so far. It's done beautifully. It's definitely one of the best miniseries I've seen. I haven't seen too many miniseries, so it doesn't have too much competition, but it seems like a lot of you also think that it's one of the best miniseries. So, and of course, if you'd like to see my full reaction to this episode as well as the first 2 and the next 2 episodes, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you'll be able to get access to that, as well as my movie reactions in full length and polls to help me decide what I watch and react to in the future. Thank you to all of you who stuck with it to the end of the video. I appreciate your view and your support. Definitely super grateful that all of you are enjoying this experience with me. and I look forward to reading your comments about this episode and about anything else. Looking forward to interacting with you, and if you enjoyed the video, definitely consider leaving a like. It helps the channel out, and it helps the videos reach more people, so I'm super grateful for all of you who are doing that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode on Thursday, so I will see you all later. Peace.